We are heading out to Lady Musgrave Island, 55 miles from the Burnett River. It is a reef atoll which has an entrance channel so we can take Florence right into its heart. 55 miles is further than we can do in daylight hours, and we also want to time our arrival for slack tide in the reef pass. That meant that we had to set off in the dark at 1 AM.
We find a pancake breakfast is a perfect pick-me-up after an overnight sail when we're really tired. I don't have any scales on Florence, so recipes are always a bit of a mix between cups and guesswork. We've normally got some overripe bananas on board, so our favourite is banana pancakes, and it means that you don't have to add any sugar because the bananas make the sweetness, and it's made with wholemeal flour, so they're not too unhealthy.
Cool, thanks Amy.
No worries.
There's a pretty good sail over here. Straightforward, but overnight sails always take it out of us a little bit. It takes about 3 days normally on a passage to get used to sailing, so just doing overnight hops, we're pretty tired after them.
Yeah, I think tiredness is the most difficult thing about double-handed sailing. It's always really difficult to get enough sleep when you're on passage.
But pancakes are a good way to recover. We've managed to pick up one of the free mooring balls that's close to the island here at Lady Musgrave. It's pretty choppy in the lagoon to do our normal method of launching the dinghy by just throwing it over the side and then connecting it in the water, so we'll have to do the slightly more difficult on-deck version, but then we should be able to go and explore. I'm going to use the engine today because it's so windy. Don't use it very often. In fact, this little can would normally last us at least 8 months.
We've heard great things about the reef here at Lady Musgrave, so I'm really excited to go and find out what's under the water. It's been 6 months since we were last swimming in such clear water on a coral reef. It's great to be back. It's such a liberating experience to dive in this environment. That patch of reef was good, but not as good as we were hoping for from the reports of this place. So we took Florence across the lagoon to a set of bommies near the entrance pass in the hope of finding something better.
The video footage doesn't do justice to this huge, healthy coral bommy, which is just a tiny section of this amazing reef. It seems that every nook hides another fish.
It's great to see so many of these turtles here. They keep popping up for air alongside Florence.
The beauty of this underwater landscape kept us so long that we were wrinkly and shivering by the time we returned to Florence. That was definitely worth moving across the lagoon for. Loads of fish and crystal clear water. That was just brilliant.
Hello all stations, hello all stations, hello all stations. This is Marine Rescue Bundaberg with the Coastal Waters forecast. Weather situation. A high pressure system, 1029 hectopascals over the Tasman Sea, will remain slow moving through to Thursday. Wind easterly at the 15 knots, reaching up to 20 knots at times. Seas 1 to 1.5 metres. Swell south to southeasterly around 1 metre offshore southern waters. Weather partially cloudy. Forecast.
Normally when we're offshore we have our sat phone which we use to download weather information, but because we've been in Australia for so long we've actually cancelled the sat phone contract because normally we're in range of a mobile phone network. However, out here at Lady Musgrave we don't have that, so we've got to listen to the VHF to get some kind of idea as to what might be happening with the forecast.
We've been getting more wind than forecast out here, and even just 20 knots makes it quite choppy in the lagoon, which means a very wet ride in the dinghy. When it's like this, we end up putting our clothes in a dry bag and motoring ashore in swimwear. It's going to be much worse when we have to go upwind on the way back. There are loads of these black noddy terns nesting here at the moment. They're really cool. There are tons of their nests in the trees. They don't seem to be bothered by us at all.
These noddy terns eat fish and squid. They are supposed to be so tame that you can pick them up off their nests.
There are tons of shearwater burrows here, and they're still nesting. So inside this there's a chick hiding in there. The parents have left, and the chick will leave probably later this month. You can't hear them though for the noise of the terns. Lady Musgrave Island is a nature reserve, and the birds seem to be thriving here.
On the leeward side of the island it is incredibly peaceful because we are sheltered from the wind.
It's like another world on this side of the island.
If only it were deep enough for us to bring Florence around here, it would be much more comfortable than where she is in the lagoon. When you're out away from civilization, there's no hairdressers around, so it gets a bit out of control. Thankfully, I have my stylist with me. Amy's had quite a lot of practice of this over the last 3 years. If she gets it wrong, then she has to put up with looking at it, because I don't look at it. Occasionally I get told I have a very trendy asymmetric hairdo.
When I thought about the skills that I needed for cruising, I didn't think hairdressing would be one of them. I don't trust Matt with mine.
Yeah, Amy would rather cut her own hair than trust me. I don't know why. I mean, it's not that hard, is it? You just put it into a ponytail and snip across the bottom. That's all she does. Mine's harder.
I'm really glad that we came here. Lady Musgrave has been fantastic, but the weather is unfortunately changing and we need to start making tracks north, so we're going to have to leave.
Maybe we'll wait until this massive rain cloud goes through there.
Yeah, I think so.
Come on, come and get out of the rain. So we're leaving now, about an hour later than planned. It's going to be an overnight sail. A lot of the hops between anchorages up this coast are quite big. Australia itself is quite big. So it's about 94 miles to the next place, and we're sailing to the Keppel Islands. If the weather stays like this, it will be lovely.
Lady Musgrave was the first reef anchorage that we've been in a while, and I now feel really excited to head up the rest of the east coast of Australia. It feels like our season's starting again.
Exciting.
Very.
Next time, we enjoy some magical sailing conditions and get lost in nature.
This video comes with a special thanks to our star patrons Bill McNamara and Kate and Peter Adkins. We really value the generous support of all our patrons.